you really, really want it, all you gotta do is get up on your dig heels out. You know what we're talking about. You know what it's gonna do. You made it. Shuck it up, quack, quack. We got to get into it. Everything's alleged. Do your own research. We're gonna get lit up in this piece. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, so we know Miss Aaliyah J, Miss Fashionista herself. Well, apparently her and Wiz Khalifa, of course, have split up. And she seems to be moving on just fine without him. And I'm happy for her. I'm here to see it. You know, she's going to fashion shows. She's making her appearances. She didn't let a little breakup stop her, get her down. And I'm here for it because sometimes as women, we do. And to be honest, I thought she was going to be going back and forth to Wiz Khalifa for a couple years. Because if you do know, like most relationships, you know, they have their ups and downs. But she made a couple rounds back after they broke up or whatever. So I really didn't know what to expect with them, but it seems to me that she has officially moved on. You know, even in their relationship, there was talk about there being another person in the relationship or whatever, but I don't know how true that was. It could have been just a friend, but they were spreading pictures online or whatever. But Wizard Kelly, you know, was on the scene for a minute. And if you don't know him, he was whining and dining her, taking her out of the country, buying the bling bling. You know, she doesn't drive. He was the one who drove mostly for her, you know, taught her. So I feel like Aaliyah taught him the game and helped him establish his YouTube career to what it is. And, you know, I feel like that's what couples should do, you know, help each other out, grow with each other and stuff like that. But for some reason, and that could be just my opinion, I never just felt like it was a lasting thing. Now, I feel like sometimes in relationships, we have temporary people and we have permanent people. I always saw the relationship as temporary, but of course, I'm not the one who can make the final decision on anybody's relationship. Because actually, when they started dating, I had seen so many red flags, and I was like, it's probably not going to work. And then they broke up. But of course, they got back together. And they broke up again. And they got back together. So now they're broken up. And it appears like they're not getting back together. And the reason I said they don't look like they're getting back together is because if you don't know, on Wiz Kelly channel, which I hadn't really seen too many of them posting, but I just happened to look on Wiz Kelly's channel, which I knew him through Aaliyah mainly. That was her boyfriend. And I seen him a couple times out and about with EDG, and I was like, oh, that's probably a red flag. He probably definitely is going to be breaking up now because he doesn't have to just depend on her for his YouTube obligations, you know. Sure, that's his girlfriend, but DDG is a major YouTuber, and then you had Dub, the Shade, Chark. He was around all those people a couple times that he met through Aaliyah J, you know. I would assume, you know. So she really helped out his career. She really helped out his stardom. And when I just saw him hanging out with those guys, I just knew that it probably wasn't going to last that much longer because he didn't need her anymore. You know, I'm not saying it was only for that, but in life, sometimes people do use you for a come up. They'll get what they want. And when they get what they want, they move on to the next person, or the bigger and the better. And I just always felt that for him because at first, he was like, I don't want to be on the camera. And if you do realize, when they first started talking on YouTube, he was off the camera. And I was like, well, who is this dude? You know, like, you know, he wanted to be off camera. And I was excited for her. I was happy for her. But then he got on the camera, and you could never stop seeing him, it seemed like. So I was like, well, obviously he wanted to be on camera, because if you're on the camera's face 24/7, you know, as soon as she poke her head out, you poking your head out or making her post you, like, you obviously wanted to be on the camera and was trying to act like you weren't trying to be on the camera. Because I feel like this. If I'm a person that doesn't want to be seen, I'm not gonna all of a sudden want to be seen. Like, I'll probably do a his or her, like, boom. But it was more like he would, as soon as she's like in the background or whatever, just even talking, he would either say something or he would walk by. It would just give me very much, I'm here, do you see me? Now, don't get me wrong. When you see that you're getting views, you see that you're getting numbers, of course, it's kind of powerful and interesting, and you may say, oh wow, I'm gaining that popularity, I'm gaining that famousness. But like I said, I feel like that was plotted, that was planned. And then, you know, of course, when you're dating relationships or whatever, you do go half on a lot of things. But I do feel like when there's somebody that you're really, really, really into, it's your really forever person. Because I do feel like women don't have to, you know, expect the man to pay for everything. Because that's why we have jobs. That's why we're independent women. Now, if you're lucky enough to get a man who's like, no, baby, I got it, then more power to you. But in this situation, when they first started meeting, he was whining and dining her this and this. He was spending big money, taking her on first class flights. And my impression was, oh, he's trying to really get her attention. And, you know, of course she gonna fall for that because she was getting treated like a lady. Then it started having, like, little jabs here and there. Like, he would say little slick stuff. But I guess that's guys being guys because, you know, guys rack on each other all day long. So I kind of was like, red flag, but, you know, I don't really know what to say. And then, you know, they broke up and all this and that. But then, he was just basically, when they moved back in together, they was wanting to live in different places. Like, he wanted Cali, she wanted New York, which I also thought was a red flag because at the end of the day, yeah, you can care about somebody, but if y'all don't even have a coherence of where y'all want to stay or live, y'all different people. Because one person wanted cold, another person wants it hot. You know, it's just stuff like that you really have to consider when you're thinking about a relationship. So that was another red flag. I was like, oh, I don't know how long this is going to work because she literally said being in New York gave her life. It really helped her, like, motivate her. And he was like, no, because me, I'm a person, I would prefer Cali over New York. But a person who preferred New York, I probably couldn't date them. But, you know, as a couple, when you care about somebody, you try to make it work. And Cali's so expensive. So what happened was, I was like, oh, he was, you know, doing all this at the beginning, whining and dining, that he wasn't even want to be seen on the camera. But now he was like, they had made a comment years into their relationship, which is nothing wrong with it, especially if you're just dating and not too serious. But they was going like half, okay? Now, true enough, I know married couples even go half. It does happen. But what I'm saying is, you was putting on this big facade, like you the man, you got it, you this and that. You know, she even bought him a car, and true enough, she didn't really drive, so it was also helping her as well. She bought the man a nice car or whatever. And in a video, he was talking about he got his car repossessed, I think, which we'll talk about later. Okay, but at the end of the day, it was like they had talked about them going half on everything, which I get it, but I feel like if a man is whining and dining, it's kind of showing me that, oh, you got it like that, you know, and you're going to take care. I feel like, shoot, I'll be more comfortable instead of have like 70-40, you know, 60-40 or 70-30. I don't know. Or even if the man's, you know, you lucky enough, not saying you will, the man's like, oh, I got it, you know, I can afford it. You know, especially if I'm taking first class flights, especially if I'm going here, going there out of the country. Like, it was just his facade. You know, true enough, people's finances can change. People can do this and this and that. But I feel like the way you get somebody, you need to kind of keep that up, you know, make that last. Okay, so anyway, they finally broke up, which, of course, he popped out with another female at a, you know, one of the concerts and whatever. And so we kind of figured that. You know, we weren't surprised and Thomas passed by. But at the same time, now, it's kind of like sometimes you don't realize how a person can bless your life until they're gone, right? Sometimes we just take people for granted. And now, Aaliyah's, you know, she's moved on. She's blossomed. She took her energy away from that situation. And she revamped herself. She's going to Fashion Week. She's popping out like she did before, like she never left. And to be honest, I'm here for it. I'm happy for her, because when you really, really like somebody, it's hard to move on, especially if they're buttering your head up like they're so into you, especially in the beginning, or it's not about the camera, it's all about the trips we're going to take and this and this and that. Like, you don't find that every day. So he knew what he was doing. He got that. I give it to him for that. He's a very calculated, smart individual, apparently. So if he had did a video, I think I posted a clip from that, where he was talking about he got his car repossessed. Like, they came, was like, we're coming up here to get him, this and that. They even scared him, acting like they had a cop who was going, step in the scene if he didn't let them take the car, which was probably a strategy or whatever to get his vehicle. And it was just so sad, because he was just saying he had to ask people for money, like he was asking his camp for money. And it was very unfortunate, because he said he was basically spending all his money at the clubs, and especially the strip clubs and stuff like that. So his money was going really, really, really fast. And I really hate that for him, because he also borrowed the money, I think, from Vaughn. And he said he gained it like 3 or 4 times what he was borrowed. And he had, like 20,000 when he started off with borrowing like 2 or 3 or 4. I don't remember. So he flipped it. But I just watched another video of him that happened maybe a month after he did the video about his car getting repossessed. He's losing a lot of stuff. Things are not going well for him. And he was saying he went on a shopping spree of $10,000 with, I think, DDG. And he was talking about DDG was his broski. So I don't know. I just don't feel like that was a smart move, because you got a lot going on. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to do this and this for a brand. I remember Jay Cinco was talking about that. I don't have to floss. I can get a smaller place, a cheaper place, and like, just live. Some people be trying to please everybody. They don't even give a rat's tail about them enough to help them if there was a situation. So just do you. Enjoy your life. Make sure you're good. You don't have to floss for the cameras. You don't have to act like you got it when you don't have it, because you're going to be broke again. And you can't be that friend that's asking people for stuff every single time. Like, they're going to be like, bro, if you ain't got it, just say you ain't got it, because you just spent 10 G's shopping. Like, you asking for 2 G's. Like, make it make sense. It's not adding up. Now, true enough, we all have our plateaus where we just have ups and down moments or whatever. But I'm not knocking it. And I'm thankful he was able to come back from that, because it's not fun when you ain't got no funds. Okay? But I do commend Aaliyah J, because I was thinking, okay, she was going to see, like, okay, he needs me, let me run back or whatever. Or maybe he would have reached out to her because he was not doing so well, and maybe give it another run until he plateaued again and he was able to leave her again or whatever. Maybe not. And so the fact that they didn't get back together when he was at his lowest point, let me know that she kind of was done. Like, she was over the shenanigans. She was over the situation. And like I said, it was surprising, because I thought that would be the perfect time for him to reach out to her to reach out to him, if they wanted to rekindle anything. Because I don't know if he's single, because I don't really, watch the dynamic totally with that. Or her, I don't know if she's just dating or if she's single or what. But in my opinion, I don't think she's with anybody specifically right now. So they definitely had that space and opportunity to go in that direction if that's something that they really wanted to do. But obviously, maybe it's not something that they want to do, and that's fine. That's understandable. I just definitely wish them both well. And I do wonder, like, does he think about, Aaliyah J? Does he even commend her on helping him out? Like, he really leveled up through her, regardless if he notices it or not. Not saying he wasn't a talented guy, because I think what did he do? I don't really know. But he was doing something enough to make money and be able to fly her out in first class and this and that. So he definitely has skills. But what I'm saying, as far as the YouTube arena, she really helped him level up. And sometimes men be taking that for granted. They feel like, women have to do this for me, or they have to do that, or they supposed to do this and this and that. Like, Leah J sacrificed where she wanted to live to make sure this job was good. She would take him back a couple times. You know, she was really catering to him as well. Not saying he didn't cater to her, but a lot of times I always just felt like he really didn't appreciate it, because it'd be certain things that she would do and he would always have something negative to say about it or try to correct it to me. But I wonder if he really misses her now, you know, because when you see your money work looking a little funny or a little different, you know, things are not going the way you wanted them to go, it's kind of like, then maybe my sunshine is gone. Maybe my sunshine is missing, you know. And I feel like Aaliyah J was his sunshine because she really gave him so many chances, especially to get it together. I really feel like she really cared for him. I feel like he just was cool with her. I don't really feel like he was in love with her, but it worked for that moment, you know. And I feel like they had, you know, of course they had to have feelings in some degree with each other to be together. But people fail to realize there's plenty of people in relationships and one of them doesn't really care about the other person. It happens all the time. Now, I'm not saying that this is what happened in this situation, but what I'm saying is I had a comment on somebody's page one time and I was like, you know, just the baby mama wonders if the guy is gonna be with her and want to be with her, and she probably concerned. First of all, you're a baby mama. Second of all, a man can have 10, 20 kids with you. That don't mean he gonna be with you. That's obvious, right? So what I'm saying is, just because a person is in a relationship with you, a person is with you, doesn't mean that they want to spend their whole time with you. Because I myself am a person that I'm really particular. I'm a person that I'm not easily impressed. I'm not easily amazed. And sadly enough, I've given people chances that I didn't see it going anywhere with. And I thought that they could prove me wrong. I gave them a chance. It didn't go anywhere. So that's another reason why I kind of do what I do about the couple predictions, or just giving my opinions on people when I see a train wreck happening, because I spot failure so quickly, even in my own relationships, so early, so fast, that I just be knowing like it's not going to go anywhere. Now, true enough, late in the relationship can, like I said, can work if at least one person wants it to work. Because look, if you doing all this to keep me, why I'm gonna let you go? Because sometimes that can even work. Don't even matter how I feel about you, but you care about me so much, and I'm single, so you're my option. So it can definitely work. But it's better when two people want to work together, do everything they can to make it work. So, I don't know. I just had to speak on that dynamic because, like I said, they was a couple, a unit for a good moment. And I wonder how it was when Wizard Kelly asked DDG for some money. Not saying he did. It hasn't been confirmed. But he was at a low point. Okay? And he has successful friends that he was in a circle with because of Miss Aaliyah J. He even said that one of his, because he publicly announced that his car was getting repossessed. He didn't have too many dollars to his name. He said this on his YouTube channel. That's the only reason why I'm speaking about it. And he also said that Bun, who's not even as up there, I believe, as DG, Dub, and this and this and that, Vaughn, who used to date Nyree, I believe, because he's in the circle of DDG's camp or whatever. I think he said Vaughn gave him a loaner of 4G, and he said he was able to flip that through a gambling app or something for $20K, which is amazing. Like, I want to know that trick, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if he was able to get money from Vaughn, don't you think he would have asked Pootie, Chark, Dub, DDG? Because those are the people you would think the Shade would have it, because they're high up in the YouTube arena and they're successful. But keep in mind, just because you're successful doesn't mean you're going to give handouts to people who are irresponsible. Because if you do, you're going to keep having to do that. And that's something you have to be aware of, because you can care about somebody But if they don't even care enough about their own situation to fix it, to change it, then you're wasting your time. Okay? Because I've been that person. I've leaned and I've leaned. I lived because I cared about this person and situation. But then when I put my 2 cents in for tell them what they can do to change it, then they're like, I want to do what I want to do. Then I was like, okay, don't ask me for jack. Okay? Because was I paid back in that situation? No. First of all, I gave out a kindness on my heart because I was able to. And it was somebody that I respected and appreciated in my family. But it was getting to be a bit much. Not saying that's what he was doing. But I don't know his situation. I don't know what he's done in the past. But it was ironic that he didn't say DDG gave him no money. Deshae, he said Von. And as far as I know, Von, he seemed like he's the one who wouldn't have been able to do it. So maybe he has a pattern of something that people have seen and they're not trying to put up with it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, as soon as he said he made $20K, back when he got his car, repossessed, allegedly or whatever, is what I thought he said. He then a couple weeks later said he spent $10,000 on a shopping spree. To me, those are not wise decisions, bro. You have nice shirts. You have nice shoes. You don't have to buy more nice shoes just because you go out with one of your baller friends. Because I noticed in that clique, they're always ranking on each other's clothes. Some of them are talking about, do you have this nice fit, this and that. You do have nice fits. There was no reason that you just had to spend 10 G's. And a lot of times, I'm sure you were spending all that other money you had was because you was around high-profile people. But if you don't got it, you don't have to act like you got it. Because at the end of the day, just take care of you. And your friends are going to respect that. They're going to appreciate that. And they're going to be more in your corner than if you're trying to keep up with them when you really don't have it like that. And then you're begging them and asking them to bail you out of a situation. You're going to lose respect. But hopefully he got it under control. Hopefully his money situation is better. But it's just unfortunate that he's going through a lot of those things. And I think he's made it out. But I just wonder if he thinks about Aaliyah J and her role in his life. And I just wonder if he did try to get her back. And I wonder, if he's making better decisions financially. And I just want to know what is more expected of him. Because obviously he's a smart man. He knows how to get to where he needs to be. So I know he can get it done. Especially who else can take 4 G's and then flip it to 20 G's. Like, you got to know what you're doing. So he'll be okay as long as he acts like he knows what he's doing and do that. And Aaliyah J, she obviously is doing good as well. Are you subscribed? Please do so. And if so, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, we came to the end of another amazing production. But we have this piece. Until next time, make sure you like if you liked any part of this video. And definitely comment down below so I can know what you think about what we discussed here on today. Feel free to share if you feel like you want to let somebody else know the tea or the allegedly. Yeah. And join the fam bam because you know you lit and we like you up in this bit permanently. And subscribe because you such a motherfucking vibe. We out.